Hey everyone, how's it going? I hmm, you know, it's a little quiet, isn't it? I mean, the backdrop's nice and all, but we added in a little music. There we go. Just like the old days when I used to stream. Speaking of streaming, I've got a surprise for everybody. At least that cares about this sort of thing. We're doing a retro request live, focusing on the Game Gear. Yes, it's been since haven't streamed since, at least not on purpose. There was that one time I accidentally streamed bits and pieces of Doom. You know, I was pressing the wrong button in OBS. Didn't realize. Haven't streamed since October of 2021. I streamed some Skyrim stuff, and I just chopped off the face of the earth on Twitch anyway. Um, so, I want to try and get back into it, but it won't be terribly often, assuming this is even something that people want to see. What I want to do from now on when it comes to streaming is, I don't think it'll be every week, but once every couple weeks probably. Maybe less than that, I don't know. But regardless, it's something I'm going to announce in advance on here. Because I'm not a regular. It's not my job or anything. Okay, it's just something for fun. So, a way to interact with people I talk to on YouTube, or people I read the comments from, whatever. And the few exclusive or Twitch exclusive fans I have. So this is sort of a test run for that. What we're going to be doing is I happen to own 5 physical Game Gear carts that I bought from eBay a while back when I just found some random games on the cheap when I got my Mega SG, which is the analog Sega Genesis system, and I got a Game Gear adapter for it. It's just a little plastic cartridge thing that uses FPGA shit, I guess, whatever, to run cartridges. Now, I could just run them off a flash drive, but since I actually have 5 physical carts, I'm going to play all of them. What game's it going to be? I'll keep that a bit of a surprise. It's nothing terribly special, but I think it'll be kind of fun. Game Gear isn't something we see too much in the retro scene, at least that I've paid attention to. Maybe it's bigger than I think. Regardless, the stream will be starting at 8 a.m. Eastern this coming Thursday, December 22nd. And I hope you'll pardon the format of this looking like bullet points or whatever. This originally started off as a bullet points thing for me to talk about stuff, but I figured it might be a better idea to just display them on the screen, so, I don't know, easier for people to take note of them. And plus I tend to mumble sometimes, so, whatever. And as with all my old streams, if you can't make it, don't worry about it. Everything will be posted to YouTube. Not the transitions in between games or like the beginning or end chat or whatever. But like all the game footage you might care about, that'll be there. There might be times at the end of a stream where I just chat with people, and that won't be included. I guess that'll be exclusive for anybody that can make it. In this case, all this stuff is planned to be released between the 26th and the 31st. 1 game per day. Wait, no. I fucked that up. Hang on. 27th to the 31st, yes. The 26th is reserved for a special request for Zappa. Right after Christmas, which is Christmas Day should be when the Parasite Eve LP ends, which I hope everybody's enjoying that. 26th is Zappa's special request. And then the 27th through the 31st is when all the Game Gear footage will be uploaded. 1 per day. Just like, according to this new format I'm using for uploads. Now, with that in mind, I also have questions for you guys, if you don't mind. Anybody that's reading this, I would appreciate if you wouldn't mind answering. That's a long list, but hear me out here, alright? So I do want to cater more to my fans. I can just continue doing random stuff. And like always, I'm not really looking to make money off this or anything, but it would be nice to get a bit of a better following or more engagement, because that's that's the fun part about this, is when I read comments or when I see what used to be when I see the Twitch chats and stuff like that. That's kind of a fun thing. Working overnight, chances for social interaction are kind of not very often. I worded that poorly, but you know what I mean. So the internet is my main means of chatting with people, having a good time or whatever. I'm not the kind of guy that really goes out and goes to, like, I don't know, cause trouble or whatever. I don't know. And I just abhor using stuff like Facebook or Twitter. They're just cesspools. Can't even have a fandom of any sort anymore without everybody just being like just the worst. So I prefer you guys, folks that are here to see the kind of stuff that I like to play, the old retro games or some interesting newer games, whatever, stuff like that. Really, sometimes niche stuff. I've found people that share the same interests as me. So I'd like to cater to you guys a bit more. And with that in mind, here are some questions. When it comes to video length, do you guys prefer shorter videos, more medium-sized videos, which I would consider like 30 minutes, or longer stuff, like an hour plus? Like, I don't plan on doing like the big like 3-hour chunks or anything like that, like, ever again, I don't think, unless something weird comes up. An hour plus would be reserved for like Let's Play videos or whatever, I guess. It could be a weird retro request, but retro requests I want to keep to like 15 to 30 minutes. Let's Play stuff, it'd be like a minimum of 30 minutes, because there's only gonna be one coming out per day. So, I don't know. What kind of length do you guys prefer? Not just for this channel, but for anything. And with that in mind, the style of content. You guys prefer the one-shot vids like Retro Requests, Stick Fiddlers, shameless promotions, stuff I do like that isn't attached to anything larger, I guess. Like, not counting Retro Requests or whatever as a larger, because that's just a category or whatever. I mean, like a bigger overall game or something like that. You guys like just like straight up Let's Plays, no matter how long they are. Do you like when I do challenges or randomizers, like challenges like the 4-Job Fiesta, randomizers like Profound Disorder from Phantasy Star 4, Jets of Time from Chrono Trigger, stuff like that. Castlevania, sure, anything like that. Do you like some other content? I'm kind of struggling to think of what else I could do. Once in a blue moon, I used to do videos where I'd like analyze like certain things. Like, the only things that come to me off the top of my head are when I talked about Mass Effect 3's ending, like a decade ago, literally. And that one time I did a video about the mercenaries and Mountain Blade with Fire and Sword. Fire and Sword? Is that what it's called? I think so. It's just something weird like that. I imagine that's not going to win any votes, but still, just in case, feel free to suggest whatever. But I'm mostly looking for like a preference for the first 3 things I mentioned. Do you like older or newer games? You know, we're talking retro versus modern. And what would be retro to me or older? Basically, like Dreamcast and older. Like, I know that technically Dreamcast, PS2, and I guess GameCube are part of the same generation, but something in my brain separates Dreamcast from that generation. Oh, I guess Xbox original would count as part of that generation. But since Dreamcast came out so much earlier than those, like by 2 years, I think? Maybe? I have to look it up, but it's not important. The way I do... It's not a set-in-stone definition, retro, right? everybody seems to have a different definition. For me, I look at it as gaming consoles that were like big, or not big, just gaming consoles that I grew up with. Gaming consoles that were out when I was in high school. Now, technically, I think all the other, is it 5th gen or 6th gen? That's Dreamcast and PS2 and all that's a part of. Whatever, that generation. Technically, I think they were all out while I was still in high school, which I graduated in 2002. But just for the sake of argument, just Dreamcast came out, what, September 9th, 1999, right? Anything Dreamcast or older than that. Super Nintendo, N64, Saturn, NES, stuff like that. Although I probably won't be doing any Atari or whatever. That's just... I grew up with an Atari 2600 and like really old computer games, but they're a bit too primitive for me at this point. Like, there's something to be said about games that age well, or consoles and controllers that age well. Atari doesn't really. NES for the most part is pretty okay, and Master System, but you get the idea. The older stuff. Or when it comes to newer stuff, it sounds strange to call PS2 newer. I couldn't phrase it any better, but basically anything after PS2, or PS2 or after. Now, I'm hesitant to do those sorts of games unless they're on... okay, I'll put it this way. I'm a little less hesitant to do PS2 or GameCube since I can get a hold of that sort of stuff easily. Since one, they're easier to emulate, and two, I actually own both of those. And I do have plans to get a modded PS2. I've already got to the point where my GameCube can do that sort of thing, but still, it's not ideal. Now, I'm mostly known for doing like older stuff, but I plan on dipping into some newer stuff. It just depends, right? Like, for example, at some point I would like to do a full playthrough of the Mass Effect trilogy, or Dead Space, or I don't know. This counts as older and newer, I guess, but something like the new version of Dwarf Fortress or something like that. Watching me learn how to play that. Because from what I can tell, this looks like a very pleasant game to play now that it has a user interface meant for human beings. I'll tell you though, if I would have had Dwarf Fortress when I was a kid, back when I was playing shit like Alpha Man and whatnot, right? I probably would have been able to handle Dwarf Fortress no problem. But by the time I first saw Dwarf Fortress in the late 2000s, my brain couldn't handle it. It needs graphics. ASCII graphics aren't gonna cut it. But yeah, just older or newer. Sorry, I really went on tangents there. What about game genres? Do you guys like a nice healthy mix of just whatever I feel like playing or whatever you suggest? Do you like action or adventure, RPG, strategy, management? Strategy can get kind of boring for other people for the most part. I find it fascinating, but I think I would bore everybody to tears with that. Because when I think of strategy, I think of like the grand strategy, not like RTSs and stuff. I can play them. I'm not very good at them though. I just don't have the brain capacity to think that quickly. I'd have to pause constantly. Management games like RimWorld, Dwarf Fortress, Factorio, whatever. Again, most of that stuff would probably be boring, except for like maybe RimWorld and especially Dwarf Fortress, because they kind of tell stories as they go and they're just wacky. Especially Dwarf Fortress is fucking wacky. I keep talking about that game. I just bought it and I can't wait to sit down and play it, but I wanted to put this out first. Yeah, what do you guys prefer? Now, when I ask all this stuff, this is nothing that's going to set the channel in stone or anything. This is just asking for preferences. So maybe I can kind of shift things a little bit more towards that to kind of cater a little bit to the fans that are around more often, I guess. I personally like to opt for a mix of everything when it comes to genres and whatnot. And when well, I'll explain what I like. As far as the video length, I'm fine with anything, although it is easier to do the shorter videos, because then it's like, hey, I got to spend less time to get more daily content out. So look at it this way. I put in 3 hours of recording, right? It just as an example. Now, if I cut that into 3 one-hour parts, well, that's 3 days of content right there. That's not bad. I don't have to do anything else for 3 days. Now, if I put it into 30-minute parts, oh shit, now I've got 6 days worth of content. What about shorter? 15 minutes. Now, all of a sudden, I've got 12 days of content. And that's what I did with basically all the arcade stuff. I did all those arcade games in like 3 hours, roughly. And I had enough to last me until Parasite Eve started. But then I had to put in a lot of time to get all the Parasite Eve content out, and that was, with all the stuff that was off camera, or stuff I had to redo, or blah, 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 whatever. We were talking, I don't know, 14, 15 hours total to get 9 days of content. So, I don't mind it, but that's why I like a nice mix of things, personally. When it comes to the style of content, the retro request stuff is obviously easier stuff to do. Stick Fiddler's is the arcade equivalent of that. Because I don't have to necessarily stick to something. There's been a number of times where I've done Let's Plays in the past and I've just abandoned them. Going forward, when it comes to the Let's Plays, if I need a break from them, I'll probably say at the end of one of the Let's Play videos, like, okay, after this I'm going to do something else for like a week or whatever like that. I got more content coming, don't worry. But like, I don't know, a week of retro requests or something like that. And then we'll get back to the Let's Play. Just take a little break so I don't burn myself out. That was a big problem I had before, and I'm looking to rectify that. Older and newer, I personally prefer older. It's just easier to do. My PC isn't that great, so it's hard for me to do like ultra modern stuff, especially. But like emulating or like lower end games or something like that, those are a-okay. Genres, I like a mix, frankly. There's tons of different games I like to play. Some of them are far harder to make interesting for others than, well, others might be. Lastly, I want to ask, stuff for streams. First of all, do you guys even care about the streams? Maybe I'm doing this stream for nobody on Thursday, right? But, if you were to come watch a stream, would you want to watch LPs? Where you could watch me live play through a game, but there's a chance that you could miss some of the content until it goes up on YouTube. Because some of it could take a while to get to YouTube, depending on my schedule. Or do you prefer more of the one-shot stuff, the retro requests? Like, we play a series of games. So if you miss those aren't a big problem. They're not part of a sequencer, really. Or anything like that. Or if they are part of a sequence, they'd all be in one day. So if you miss one day, you'll just miss that series and that's it. Like, say if I did, I don't know, just as an example, all the Super Bomberman games, right, on Super Nintendo. Like, if I did all those in one stream, like, no big deal. You'll catch them later. They're not part of a greater LP or something like that. Because the next stream, maybe I do something actually I have plans for, a bunch of Dreamcast football games, right? I'm not big on sports games anymore. I've done one once for YouTube, but still, it's just a random idea I had. That's probably what we should lean towards, is more of the one-shot stuff. But if people actually want to see LPs, maybe I can think of something that I do only for streams. But then again, there's always a chance that stuff can be missed. I don't know. These are just ideas I'm tossing out. If people even care about the streams, what kind of stuff do you want to see? Anyway, I I think that's it. Nothing else to really say. Yeah, so I will leave you with... It's probably the right picture. There we go. This nice picture here of that I've been using as the backdrop for our Parasite Eve playthrough. I was specifically looking for, since Parasite Eve is joked about as a Christmas game, like surely there's got to be an image somewhere out there of I in Christmas regalia or something like that. And what do you know, there is. And it's a fantastic picture. I don't have the little note down here that I did before. Shit. Or do I? Nope. That was a different stream. Actually, hang on. There we go. Hey, I forgot I actually had a special scene set up just for Parasite Eve. Ah. And speaking of which, I may do Parasite Eve 2 at some point. We'll see. I've got other ideas for LPs, if people still want to see LPs, but, you know. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. I appreciate everybody that took the time here to listen to this fucking... Oh god, it's past 20 minutes now. This rambling mess of me just talking to you guys. And shit, the music doesn't have much longer left on it. Ugh. If you sat all the way through this to show support and to actually listen to what I had to say, I'd really appreciate it. You guys are the best. I don't know what I'd do without you guys sometimes, considering, again, when I talked about social stuff earlier. So I want to do everything I can to make you guys happy and want to interact and stuff like that. I think it's super fun. Alright, that's a wrap. Enough of me rambling. Thank you guys for watching. Please drop comments below to answer the questions or whatever. Let me know if you'll be there for the stream. Oh god, I just realized. I did not put down... Well, okay, it should be... Shit. Hang on! I didn't actually put the stream name down. Sorry, I get out of here. No, well, you know what? This'll do. This'll do. Hang on. There we go. I just straight up just copied the address from my bar. So while we're going by Honky Kong 64 on here, I don't think I can change the Twitch handle unless somebody could tell me otherwise. I haven't bothered looking. It's still twitch.tv/Honky Kong 73. And remember, that's December 22nd at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did have that right? Yeah, that should be right. Alright, we'll pop this on. 8 a.m. Eastern, there's December 22nd. Yeah, that's right. Oh no. There we go. So, I hope to see you guys there. And if you can't make it, that's cool. You'll get to see the videos eventually. And I'm going to try using Streamlabs OBS for the stream. If it doesn't work, we can go back to just normal OBS Studio, which is what I use for just my recording. But I like how the chat works better on Streamlabs OBS. Makes it look a little more professional, I guess, than me just slapping on a Twitch chat window. Alright then, that's really all now. Thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you then. Later!